Welcome to South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands. Just their names sound like an adventure, don't they? These remote islands are like hidden gems. Those who make the journey are rewarded with unbelievable beauty. Imagine towering mountains with snowy peaks lost in the clouds. You won't believe your eyes when you see the huge colonies of penguins and seals. It's a nature lover's dream come true. So are you ready to set sail for adventure? Our story begins back in the 1700s. Explorers were sailing the world, mapping new lands, and sometimes just getting completely lost. That's how South Georgia was discovered by accident by a brave sailor named Anthony de la Roche. He didn't stay long though. The weather was too rough, even for a seasoned explorer like him. Then came the whalers. They were drawn to these waters by the abundance of whales, especially the mighty sperm whales. These whales were hunted for their precious oil, which was used to light lamps and lubricate machinery. It was a dangerous business, but also a profitable one. For decades, whaling was the main activity around South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands. Whaling stations were set up on the islands, and the seas were filled with whaling ships. It's a sad part of the island's history, but it's important to remember it so we can appreciate how far we've come in protecting these amazing creatures. Today, South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands are much quieter than in their whaling days. Most of the whaling stations are abandoned, their rusted remains standing as a reminder of the past. But there are still people who call these remote islands home. A small number of scientists and support staff live and work at research stations on the islands. They study the wildlife, the climate and the fragile ecosystems of this unique part of the world. They're like modern-day explorers, pushing the boundaries of our knowledge and helping us to understand and protect these precious islands. Life on the research stations is challenging, to say the least. The weather is harsh and supplies are often scarce. But for those who live and work there, it's a chance to be part of something truly special, to contribute to our understanding of our planet and the creatures we share it with. Now, let's talk about the real stars of the show, the animals. South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands are a wildlife lover's paradise. Millions of seabirds nest on the islands, filling the air with their cries and the skies with their aerial acrobatics. It's an incredible sight to behold. Penguins are the most iconic residents of these islands. You'll find several different species here, from the stately king penguins to the smaller and more agile gentoo penguins. They gather in huge colonies, often numbering in the hundreds of thousands. Just imagine the noise and the smell. But penguins are just the beginning. Elephant seals, the largest of all seals, come ashore to breed and raise their pups. Fur seals, once hunted almost to extinction, are now making a comeback. And then there are the whales. Humpback whales, minke whales, and even the occasional orca can be spotted in the waters around the islands. Section 5. Penguins, penguins everywhere. Let's talk more about penguins, shall we? They're the heart and soul of South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands. These islands are home to the largest breeding populations of penguins in the world. You'll find them waddling along the beaches, swimming in the ocean and nesting on the hillsides. King penguins are the most impressive. They stand almost a meter tall and have distinctive orange markings on their necks. They gather in massive colonies, often numbering in the hundreds of thousands. Just imagine the noise and the commotion. It's a sight that will stay with you forever. Gentoo penguins are smaller and more agile than their king penguin cousins. They have a distinctive white stripe across their heads and bright orange beaks. They're also known for being very curious and often approach humans with a mixture of caution and curiosity. Section 6. The king penguins of Salisbury Plain. One of the most incredible sights in South Georgia is the king penguin colony at Salisbury Plain. This vast, flat plain is home to an estimated 250,000 breeding pairs of king penguins. That's 500,000 penguins in one place. It's truly a sight to behold. When you arrive at Salisbury Plain, the first thing that hits you is the smell. It's a pungent aroma of penguin guano, but you quickly get used to it. Then you see them, thousands upon thousands of king penguins, stretching as far as the eye can see. It's an unforgettable experience. The penguins are constantly on the move, waddling back and forth from the ocean to their nesting sites. They feed on krill and small fish in the ocean and then return to land to feed their chicks. The chicks are adorable with their fluffy brown feathers. They huddle together in groups called creches for warmth and protection. Section 7. Elephant seals. Beachmasters of South Georgia. Besides penguins, South Georgia is also famous for its elephant seals. These massive creatures are the largest of all seals, with males reaching up to 6 meters in length and weighing over 4 tons. They come ashore to breed and give birth during the spring and summer months. The beaches of South Georgia become a battleground during the breeding season as males fight for dominance over harems of females. These battles are brutal and can last for hours. The victor, known as the beachmaster, will mate with as many females as he can. The females give birth to a single pup on the beaches. The pups are born with a thick coat of black fur, which they will shed after a few weeks. They grow rapidly on a diet of their mother's rich milk and are ready to go to sea by the time they are 2 months old. Section 8. The albatrosses of Pryon Island. No visit to South Georgia would be complete without a trip to Pryon Island. This small island is home to a large colony of wandering albatrosses, the largest flying birds in the world. With a wingspan of up to 3.5 meters, these magnificent birds are a sight to behold. Wandering albatrosses mate for life and return to the same nesting site year after year. They build large nests on the ground where the female lays a single egg. Both parents share the responsibility of incubating the egg and caring for the chick. Pryon Island is closed to visitors during the breeding season from November to April to protect the albatrosses. However, you can still get close to the island by boat and watch these amazing birds soaring overhead. It's an experience you won't soon forget. Section 9. The future of South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands. Today, South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands are protected as a wildlife sanctuary. The waters around the islands are also designated as a marine protected area. These measures are crucial for ensuring the long-term survival of the island's unique flora and fauna. Climate change is one of the biggest threats facing the islands. Rising sea levels and changing weather patterns could have a devastating impact on the island's fragile ecosystems. Scientists are working hard to understand these impacts and develop strategies for mitigating them. Another challenge is managing tourism. More and more people are visiting South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands each year, drawn by the incredible wildlife and the island's fascinating history. It's important to ensure that tourism is managed sustainably so that it doesn't harm the very things that make these islands so special. The legacy of Shackleton and the Endurance. No story about South Georgia is complete without Sir Ernest Shackleton. In 1915, Shackleton and his crew were stranded after their ship, the Endurance, was crushed by ice. Against all odds, Shackleton and 5 men made an epic journey to South Georgia. Shackleton's story is one of incredible courage and leadership. His legacy continues to inspire people today. His statue in South Georgia stands as a reminder of human adventure and hope.